December prop farm competitions. This now being the final episode of the month of December that culminated again with a loss this time round. But apparently, on the other, remember, I usually execute on two different prop firms, funding pips as well as my funded FX. So my funded FX ended up with a positive of $1,000. They are still the same trades I was executing as this one, only that some of the trades that I executed on my funding pip, some of them I was risking less. Trying to juggle between the two accounts, you find most of the time that I end up now risking less on this account, and but on the my funded FX the risk are just the same way. So that's why on some of the trades I've gained more actually on the my funded FX, with it now closing with a balance of 1,000 and something, or so, a 1% profit. So it's still the same that should have been replicated upon this account, but due to the discrepancies of the juggling through the two accounts on execution, and since I've been recording now on this platform, so we'll just stick to this one. So the competition has been okay. I love how it has been, beginning with the first trade that we took all through the last trade that I took on the 30th of December. The trading has been okay for this month. Most importantly, I've been sticking to the rules that I wanted to stick to the rules as stipulated on the previous November competition. When I did the final episode on that, they are the rules that I came up with and the plans that I came up with that I wanted to stick with. I stuck with the plans in regards to this challenge, and I've managed to see the fruits of it. So I'm happy with the rules that I have been that I kept in place, and I observed the rules as well as the plan that I had in the first place, trading that plan, sticking to the plan no matter what, and I ended up being where I am. My target was still not hit, but I'm still not on the bad position in terms of the account and in terms of where it is. Coming on the challenging of the accounts, December, once again, it was another challenging month, having in mind that there's the festive season, there's again the transitioning to the new year, there's some increase in volatility here and there, there's some uncertainty again on the markets here and there, and what have you. So it has been a challenging month. It hasn't been one of those smooth months for trading. Not any month is smooth anyway. Trading is filled with challenges, just as any other business. But trading in December is quite a bit more of a challenging because we have the holiday season, whereby volatility tends to be shaky, not that steady. Then again, there's a period where there's no volatility at all during the festive season. Again, transitioning to the new year. So you find like the trading days are sort of minimal. So with all the challenges, despite everything that was thrown ahead, it just went ahead and executed. Again, it's a challenge. So I had to execute it as it was. So I had to go with it as it was and absorb all the challenges that came therewith. And we ended up being where we are. Again, the executions were good, they were not bad. I tried my best in doing what I could in regards to how I usually execute in regards to my trading plan, and I ended up with where I wanted to be. So with that in mind, I'm okay with where we are, and looking up into January, I'm looking up at least for a better trading environment, being it's a stable month. At least there are not so much festivities or any other activities that may interrupt trading. So I'm looking for a better season come this 2025, and hopefully one of these months before we come to December, I'll manage to hit the target that I want to hit with this farm challenges. Now, with that being said, as we look at the equity curve of this trading account, and the equity curve at the end of every week, as I've been documenting again the episodes, you can go and check and the episodes and the trade recaps, as well as the monthly competitions that I've been recording each and every week. The weekly equity cover, it has coming with the first week. I managed to close the first week with a 473 loss. That's in regards to the risk to reward that I usually risk. That's my risk. My risk parameter is usually to risk $500 per day, which is the 5% of the account. Yeah, 5% of the account in terms of the money allocated, which is 10K. So 500 is 5% of the account. So that's the money I usually risk per trade, or not really per trade, but per day. At any given day, I'm supposed to risk $500. So as at the end of the month, if I happen to lose all the trades that I execute, then I'll have lost the challenge by utilizing all the funds available for me. So on the first week, I managed to close the week with a 1R, which is very good return. Having in mind it's a week that has 5 days, of which I traded only 3 days, but I managed to still risk 1R on those 3 days that I executed. It's a pretty good return if you ask me, and I'm proud about that. Coming to week two, I had a positive of 859 profit, whereby I covered up the losses for the previous week, and I had some extra margin to play around with and see if I can manage to come up with something at the end of the challenge. So that, to me, I'll take it as a 1.8 R, 1.7 close to 2 R there. Coming coming to the third week, I managed to close now with a loss of around $600 there, which I'll take it slightly as a negative 1.2, 1.3 R there. Coming on the fourth week, again I closed with another negative 587 loss, which is still within my risk apparatus. Remember, this 1R is a risk that I'm supposed to risk on one day. By the end of the day, I'm happy. I'm managing to have a cumulative risk of that amount. So that's a good really results, and I'm happy with that. And coming on the final week, which I traded only one day on the 30th, I managed to close with a profit of 225, which is half a risk of what I'm supposed to risk within a day. So all cumulatively bringing the loss to around $570. So again, at the overall challenge, I've only managed to lose 571 of the 10K funds that's allocated to me. So again, I'm pretty happy with that. There are some in this competition who are not managed to have that such kind of a return. Some even managed to even have better, but we won't focus on how the rest traded. I'm focusing on my results, and I'm happy with that. Having in mind, I've managed at the end of 30 days, I've managed to only close with negative 1R. That's a pretty good return, and I'm happy with that. So with that in mind, now looking for the January competition, and I have again registered for it. So with the 4 weeks that are there, again the risk still remains the same, risking 5% of the allocated funds, that is 500 per day, and my target still being 10% of the overall account, which is 10K. So that's still the plan doesn't change. It still be how I'll be executing and how I'll be managing the trades that I'll be taking in terms of risk. Then in terms of the losses, I'll try my very best and see if I can be able to close some of the trades on break even, or even lesser profit, rather than taking, or lesser loss rather than taking the whole loss amount allocated, because we find that in most situations, when I see the plan and I execute according to the plan, most of the time I usually let the loss go overall to where my stop loss is. So I'll try and see if I can manage to reduce the loss that I'm taking, then I'll gladly do that to try and reduce the losses or see if I can maximize on the profit. So that will be one of the changes that I'll try and see if I can accommodate it coming into this month going forward. And hopefully by the end of the month, I'll again here be analyzing and see the results that has come out. So the plan will still be the same, trading the plan. My trading plan, how I usually trade, I've highlighted how I usually trade, what I usually look for, the setups that I usually look for to trade in my weekly reflections. You can just go there and see how I usually trade. On the weekly reflections, I usually highlight the setups that I trade, my A plus setups. And again, I'll be now concentrating on the A plus setups. I'll be looking where the trade is just most likely to go to one direction, execute on that and try and avoid these other sort of setups. Or rather, if I execute on these other setups, I just use less risk. I'll just try and concentrate on the execute on the S setups only. So with that being said, so this will bring the final episode of the December monthly platform competitions. So we wait and see what this other month will hold for me. So that's it for this episode.